There are movies that aren't for everyone, and there are games that maybe should have never existed. In 1989, the same year the Berlin Wall fell and Nintendo launched Tetris in the West, Japan released a black and white film that looked like it came straight out of an industrial nightmare. It was called Tetsuo, the Iron Man. A film so radical, even David Lynch described it as the future of disturbing cinema. But today we're not just talking about movies. Today we're diving into the cursed video game based on this film. A project so strange that, according to those who played it, caused dizziness, vomiting, and a quiet cancellation. This is part documentary, part X-Files of gaming, so, grab your donuts because this is about to begin. Tetsuo, the Iron Man. Tetsuo is unlike anything you've ever seen. It's like someone recorded a nightmare on VHS and then ran it through a metal shredder. Directed by Shinya Tsukamoto, this cult classic blends horror, cyberpunk, and body horror. It was shot in black and white on a budget of just $40,000, less than the yearly salary of an intern at Capcom. Filming conditions were hellish. Tsukamoto slept on set, they used borrowed cameras, and to capture that iconic industrial echo, they recorded sound by attaching microphones to metal objects. Lead actor Tomorowo Taguchi improvised his screams while the director threw objects at him to get real reactions. The film's black and white style wasn't an artistic choice. It came from their inability to afford color development. Ironically, that limitation became their trademark. The story follows an average man who begins to transform into a machine. His skin fills with tubes and gears until he becomes something closer to a biomechanical weapon than a human being. The visual experience was so intense that several people walked out of the theater during its premiere. That was just the beginning. The impact on cyberpunk culture. Tetsuo wasn't a box office hit, but it became an underground atomic bomb. Its raw style, shaky cameras, deformed bodies, metal invading flesh redefined Japanese cyberpunk. Many consider it the origin point of modern biomech cinema. It directly influenced Hideaki Anno's Evangelion, where bodies fuse with tech. Satoshi Kon once said that Tetsuo taught him how to provoke the audience through discomfort. And some even claim that Hideo Kojima, yes, that Kojima, described it as a fascinating nightmare you're not sure you want to stop watching. That quote's been floating around forums and blogs for years, though no official source has ever been found. Maybe it was a lost comment from some 90s interview, or maybe just part of the myth. And so, between confirmed influences and phantom quotes, Tetsuo shaped the aesthetic of works like Ergo Proxy, Blame, and even the world of Akira, though that one was more polished. If Akira was the grand cyberpunk opera, Tetsuo was the dirty scream from the underground. The cursed game. Here's where it gets weird. In the early 1990s, rumors began to surface about a video game adaptation of Tetsuo for the Famicom, Japan's version of the NES. The company behind it? Allegedly Hudson Soft, the same folks behind Bomberman and Adventure Island. According to the book Famicom, The Hidden Archives, a small experimental team started working on the game using the VRC6 sound chip, the same one used in Castlevania 3. And the most disturbing part? Multiple testers reported severe dizziness, headaches, and even real nausea after playing for more than 10 minutes. An anonymous ex-programmer on 2CH, Japan's infamous image board, called it a failed sensory experiment. The most quoted line from that post? It was like putting your brain in a pixelated blender. The project was canceled. No trailer, no demo, no farewell. Is it all a myth? But it's the clues that really start to unravel the mystery. In 1991, Marukatsu Famicom magazine mentioned a project called Biomechanic Horror Game number 441. It didn't name Tetsuo, but it described a protagonist with metal implants and mechanical mutations. Then, in 2019, A Japanese collector uploaded photos to Twitter of a Famicom disk system floppy labeled Tetsuo Dev. The images showed a blurry sprite, a human eye with wires. The account was deleted just days later. And there's more. A former Nintendo employee leaked fragments from internal test logs. One entry, dated March 16, 1991, read, "Project number 441 rejected. Reason: high risk of seizures with prolonged exposure." The pieces fit, but there's no official confirmation, only silence. Cancelled games are like shattered mirrors from the past. They show us what almost existed. But Tetsuo is more than that. It's a warning, a glimpse into what happens when you try to turn something unnatural into interactive entertainment. A game that confused the brain, stressed the eyes, and triggered physical responses. Maybe it was too ahead of its time, or maybe it was never meant to be. What if it was all an elaborate hoax? But here's the real question. What if none of this ever happened? What if the infamous Tetsuo Dev was just a fake image uploaded by a fan obsessed with industrial Japanese cinema? There are no screenshots of the tweet, no backup of the floppy, only mentions in forums, lost for Sean threads, and blurry blog posts that no longer exist. It's as if someone wanted to build a myth, and succeeded. An urban legend born from cyberpunk shadows. A kind of cursed digital artifact that, like the movie, mixes obsession, technology, and something deeply human, the need to believe. Because let's be honest, who wouldn't want a game like that to exist? Twisted, uncomfortable, cursed. A kind of psychological test that measures in bits how much madness you can take. Maybe there never was a Tetsuo game. Maybe it was just a digital performance, but the truth is, even if it never existed, it already left a scar. Tetsuo the Iron Man left us with a phrase that still echoes. Metal never dies. It only rusts and waits. What if, somewhere, maybe in a basement in Osaka, that ROM still exists? Like a sleeping machine, just waiting for someone to wake it up. No one knows, but if it ever shows up, would you dare to play it? And that's it for today's Gaming X-File. Don't forget to subscribe to Rotten Donut for more strange stories about games that almost existed or maybe still lurk in the shadows. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Right here on Rotten Donut.
繰り返してやろうか。面白いな。